Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Sorry Dave was a few minutes late. All right.
20,000 actually early.
I am early for me. This is 4 o'clock right now. Okay, if we could all stand, Ken's going to lead us in prayer and pledge.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for this day. We thank Thee for the privilege of gathering together. We ask now that You bless us and our leaders, wherever they may be, the state, the government, the federal, our military, our people here at the Masonic Home. In Thy name we pray. Amen.
So motivate.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ken. Okay. Man, it's beautiful out there today. All right, it's my kind of weather. All right, well, we have a guest speaker today. I'm going to have her come up here and go first. So I told her that this would be a great opportunity for her to come and talk, because as I stand up here and talk, I have a lot of people saying, "What'd you say?" So, what? It's a good lead-in. She's an audiologist.
I can't hear you.
Well, so Dr. Page, I'm sure a lot of you have seen, there was an article in the paper last week from, what,
Family Audiology.
Family Audiology, that says they're going to start coming to Springfield Masonic. We got a lot of questions from people who saw it in the paper. So Dr. Page, who happens to be the daughter of one of our longtime employees, Miss Jill McCullough. So if you work in the business office, you know Jill. So her daughter Paige is an audiologist, works here in Springfield, and now she's going to start coming to the campus to work with you guys to make my job a lot easier up here, right, Paige?
Right.
All right.
That's the goal.
Here, I'll play Vanna.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Page.
Hi. Use the mic.
Yes. Sometimes I don't need the mic, though, so I talk pretty loud. So basically, like Tony said, I've been in Springfield now for 2 years. I just recently switched jobs. We have a new office opening here in Springfield on Bechtel, but I have seen the need for somebody to just come in here, make it easy for all the residents that are here. It's easy for me to bring most of my equipment here and see patients, but we also love to see you in the office, so if you need to get out of here and you want to come down and see me, we can do a lot with hearing. So hearing tests. Just because you get your hearing tested does not mean I'm going to push hearing aids on you. Sometimes we need to check your ears for wax, for fluid, something else going on. I've seen a lot of hearing aids already in here and in the hallways. Some of you, it's probably been a while since you've had them serviced. We recommend cleanings of hearing aids at least every 4 to 6 months. So if you haven't had that done, that's probably something we should be doing, getting you on a list. We clean them, get you new parts and pieces, just listen and check them, make sure that they're working the way they should be. It's hard to know someone who has hearing loss if those hearing aids are working the way that they should be, so we can listen to them and check them. Cerumen ear cleaning, wax removal. Some people don't like doing it, some of the nurses here. I love doing it, so if you think your ears needs cleaned, you let me know. I can clean them out. Also, our company that I work for, that Family Audiology, we're really big on educating on a bunch of different topics. Every month, there's a topic. This month, for February, it's cardiovascular. So hearing loss, untreated hearing loss, is linked to several other things. A lot of people want to know, well, what do you mean by that? A big one is risk of falls, so falling. Your hearing nerve and your balance nerve are connected. They share the same space. If your brain, if you have dizziness or unsteadiness and hearing loss, your brain is working overdrive to try and help both, to try and help your hearing, try to help your balance. Well, if we can help your hearing, the only way to do that really right now is with hearing aids or cleaning the ears out. Your brain doesn't have to focus so much on the hearing. It can lean over and help a little bit more with the balance. You know, balance is a big one. Dementia. where your auditory portion of your brain is right on top of your working memory portion of your brain. If you don't use it, you lose it. You know, you've all heard that before. So if you've been sitting around with hearing loss for several years, slowly, and you're just used to it and used to it and used to it, it's starting to deteriorate. That can link into your memory, which starts to deteriorate. That's that connection between hearing loss and cognitive decline or dementia. So we're really big on educating patients. You might not care that you don't hear the person next to you at dinner. You know, I don't want to hear them anyway, right? But we care if your brain is working the way it should be, because that's important. It's linked to a lot of other things. That's what we're here to just discuss it and just educate you so you know what's going on. And then service the hearing aids. That's a big piece. They're not cheap. Everyone here knows that. So we want to make sure the maintenance is up on them so they don't break on you. And then just make sure you're getting what you need. We're currently in the process of figuring out a schedule. You know, do we need to be here once every couple months on a whole day or what? So kind of gauging the need of what you need. I am going to do a raffle at the end of this. If you just fill out your name and number, there's a couple questions up there and fill it out. There's a little flower and a Meyer gift card. There's a gift card in it.
Who needs a card to fill out? Who didn't fill one out yet?
If you're interested, you don't know, I'm not sure. But should I ask you questions?
Yeah, I think one of the other topics that, as she was going through us with all the services and the benefits of the services they offer, I think another one that came up that she didn't touch on is depression. And how hearing loss can lead to social isolation because people don't want to go out and be social. And that's a big part of our world that we deal with, right? There's a lot of social isolation and depression that goes either undiagnosed or untreated, and that hearing loss plays into that. So getting your ears checked and your hearing is beneficial on many levels. You know, we know that we deal a lot with depression, and falls are something that Springfield Fire Department knows all about here. So anything that can help with that helps them as well.
Hey, and just like Tony said, that depression, I mean, hearing loss is a big part of it. You might think your hearing's fine because you're used to hearing loss for probably the last 20 years, right? Well, then you don't want to go out to eat. You don't want to go down to bingo or whatever goes down here because you're not hearing the people next to you. And that's not fun for anyone. If you're here, we want you to enjoy it, you know? And it could be as simple as cleaning that wax out, but we don't know unless we see you and can see what's going on. It might not be that you need hearing aids. There might be something else going on. So that's what we're here. We look at the whole picture. I went to school for a long time to tell you what I know, so that's what we're here for, okay? Ringing in your ears, that's another big one we talk about. It's called tinnitus. I say ringing, but it doesn't mean ringing. Sometimes it's chirping, sometimes it's waterfall sound, sometimes it's buzzing. That is a big sign of hearing loss. People don't think so, but it is. So if you have some ringing or buzzing or roaring in your ears, it's really good to get your hearing checked, because there might be something else going on too that we want to look at. So that's another thing we can talk about. Does anyone have questions for me while I'm here? Yes?
What insurance do you take?
We take most insurances. Insurance with hearing aids gets tricky. It is the worst part of my job. So I don't work for the government. I can't control that. But we have someone, if you get on my schedule and you're interested in it, we have someone in my office separately that checks your insurance, so we know. Most of the time, a hearing test is covered by insurance, at least once every 6 months or once a year. Hearing aids are rarely covered by insurance. Sometimes there's a benefit, but there's also a range of prices when we talk about hearing aids. And that's where going to a professional, a medical professional, is different than going to a salesperson. So there's a reason there's a range of prices. Not everyone needs the top. Not everyone wants the bottom. There's a range. There's a lot included in that. So going to somebody who can explain why is it this price, what all are you getting, what does insurance cover, what does it not, is really important too. So that's a good question. But if you're interested in your insurance check, when you call us, we take that information and we check it for our patients. Yes?
We filled out the thing and we asked our phone numbers. Will you call us or do we have to call you?
Well, so we're going to call most patients if you put something on there to see if you're interested in scheduling, and then do you want to schedule, do you want to come out to our office or do you want to schedule something when I come here?
Okay.
Hopefully Tony lets me just come in here a lot. I want to make it easy for you. You're here, like I said, some people like to get out and venture. If you want me to come here, I'm more than happy. I live right up the road, so this is easier for me than my office. So, and we do house calls too, so that's another big thing that's nice. Don't call me at midnight, you know, office hours. But if you call me and say, hey, something is not right and I can't get out to you, I need you to come in here. Within the next couple of days, I'll look at my schedule. I can swing in here and figure out what's going on. You know, that's something that I can do. So, as long as the gate opens up for me.
The G word.
If you just don't stop, it always opens, right?
Oh, one way, yeah, it just depends on who opens it.
Yep, yeah.
Don't call me at midnight, call Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We have permission
Good
now.
question.
Call Tony, don't call Dave.
I have hearing aids, and one of the pluses, other than being able to hear, is you can hear music through your hearing.
Yep.
aids. Really nice.
Yes.
You repeat it.
Yep. So she was saying that one of the benefits, she has hearing aids. Not only does she hear better, but she can also listen to music through her hearing aids. So that's something that now most of the new hearing aids do offer, which is really nice. It also helps for phone calls. So we can set things up. So a lot of people struggle on the telephone, hearing people, family members, whatnot. We can set it up where hearing aids can connect, and it's a lot more crisp and clear when it's programmed to your specific hearing loss coming right in your ears. So, and that's something I can talk to you about if you're interested in separately as well.
And actually, I'll tie into that too. So at Western Reserve, the other campus, they did a whole renovation of their chapel. And in their chapel, there are wires ran underneath where the seats are, and there's a certain,
It's called a loop, telecoil.
yeah, like a telecoil loop that it actually ties into the hearing aids, so you don't need external hearing devices. The sound system ties right into that device, which then goes to the hearing aids.
So whoever's speaking, like right now, if you had that, if this room was, it's called looped, my voice in this microphone would be coming right into your hearing aids without an extra wire programmed to your hearing loss.
And you're getting that when?
If you go to Western Reserve,
Very good, very good.
I like that, Bill.
If you have hearing aids from somewhere else, can you check them?
Yep, I can still service them. So I can definitely look at them and clean them. It depends on the make and model, if I can adjust them on my computer. If I come out here one day and I look at them and I say, hey, I can do something with this, but I don't have what I need with me, we'll schedule something, I'll get what I need and come out. But there are some brands, if they're private label, for example, Beltone is one, Miracle Ear is one, those are like private labels. Some Costco ones I can look at. So there are small charges, you know, for cleaning checks and things like that. We're working on it. But I can certainly look at them, clean them. Most of them I can connect them to the computer and make changes. So I have equipment with me, well, I will have equipment with me where I can do a hearing test in a room, make it quiet. I can program your hearing aids to that hearing test we just did. I recommend that for my patients every year. If you have hearing aids and you have not had your hearing tested in a year, that's something you should probably be thinking about. You know, as your hearing changes, those hearing aids can be reprogrammed to match that. What's the point of the hearing aids if they're not doing what you need them to do?
perfect. All right. Any more questions for Dr. Page? Now you're probably wondering, where are we going to put her? Well, today she's seeing patients in the room across from the entrance to the auditorium. What's that?
I already saw that.
This morning she saw them in the room across from the auditorium. So we're still working on like a home base, but I think we'll probably use that room most of the time for now until we get another room. So the one room that we had talked about the other day is the room that right now is slated for the massotherapist who hasn't materialized yet. So we'll see how that goes. We'll go from there.
I'm just gonna be right here.
All right. Thank you, Paige.
How they want to schedule.
Oh,
Oh,
How do you
these
want
are
to
independent
schedule?
living, so, right? These are
yeah,
all-
independent living. Most of them.
They would call you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me. Yes, so, I have 3 people yelling at me. It's not just hearing, it's the brain. So, the number, I have some flyers up here, there's a number on there. Call me. If you want to be seen at Masonic Home, I have a patient care coordinator, or my front desk, my receptionist. You know, say I want to be seen at the Masonic Home, tell her who you are. If you want to come to our office, just call and schedule. Just say you're a new patient, you know, if you are a new patient, if you have hearing aids, what's going on. But once I get a list, you know, once people start calling, or if you don't call me, if your number's in that box, I'll probably be calling you. You know, if there's a day where I come out here, we can get you scheduled wherever Tony tells me to set up at, whatever's easiest. But you can just call the number. Yes?
Just to have our hearing checked, do we have to have insurance or?
No. Nope.
We get it after?
Yep, so normally, if you want, it's called a hearing aid consult. So you're gonna come in, I look in your ears, make sure there's no wax. If there is wax, we'll take it out. Then we'll do a hearing test, because I don't know if hearing aids are the best option for you until we do a hearing test. So we'll do the hearing test, and that hearing test will tell us, 1, do you need hearing aids? 2, what type of hearing loss you have, if we need to intervene with medical, like a surgeon or anyone. And 3, kind of what's the best option for you. So then we'll talk about it, then we'll worry about if you have coverage for your insurance for hearing aids. We'll kind of go into that. Other questions?
Okay.
I'll draw when you're done talking.
All right. Thank you, Paige. She didn't take my advice. What I told her to really drum up business was to get a sign that said, if you can't hear me, you need my services, and then get up here and just talk like this.
I love that. Yes.
See, old marketing person, that's how that works.
And you're good
Right?
at
It's kind of like that bumper sticker, if you can read this, you're too close.
it. No, thank you, teacher.
Then there's a different one for motorcycles. You're way too close. All right. Well, thank you. You know, I think that's a great service that we'll have here at the campus, because A, are you still the only audiologist in Springfield?
No, there are other audiologists, but I was the only audiologist at my previous employer, and I was booked out a month and a half, which
Yeah.
I'm no longer there.
So it's a great service. Like the whole aspect of cleaning hearing aids and all that, that's something that I think goes widely underutilized and causes a lot of issues. We see that a lot in the healthcare. You know, people come in the healthcare center, people come in and have hearing aids, and you know, we're like, oh, nice. Not 100% sure they still function appropriately. So very happy to have Paige and her coworkers coming out here to help service the residents. So make sure you give her a call and get things set up.
No, we're gonna wait till she calls us.
Well, that's true. She's gonna call the ones you put the names on there. All right, Dave, I'm gonna start off with you. If you have anything.
Yeah, I got a few things, but I just remembered I forgot the pineapples. So that'll be next month. I had some residents nominated for the pineapples, and I ran out of my office without them. So I can't believe I did that. But talking about piggyback off the hearing aids, I know Susan was in my office a few weeks ago, and I thought she was just ignoring me. But she was listening to a pretty good Eagles song, so she really wasn't. So she wasn't ignoring me, she was just listening to music. I'll pay for that comment later.
Yes.
So we got the Super Bowl this Sunday. I'm the only one that read the memo all the way to wear your team jersey, so on campus. So
You know, it was at the bottom of the email.
it was at the bottom of the email, but I was the only one that and I'm sporting my Browns. But I thought I was done wearing this for the year. I did wear it. Super Bowl party, Scottish Rite, want me to announce that? Okay. Gonna have a Super Bowl party. This is resident run. It's on the second floor in Scottish Rite. It's bring your own drinks, bring something to share with everybody. I will order some pizzas, so we'll get you some pizza up there. I think the tables and chairs have already been brought up.
Yes.
Kickoff's at 6:30, so what time are you gonna be out there, 6 or so? Around 6 o'clock on Sunday, Super Bowl. If not, it's on CBS, you can watch it in your own unit.
Unless you have DirecTV.
Yeah, they don't have it, do they?
No.
Wow. So, we don't have DirecTV. Yes, Steve?
Yeah, Dave, when they're addressing a bunch of seniors, don't use the expression kickoff, okay? And
Good point, Steve. Game starts at 6:30. Okay, next we have our Valentine dinner. It's coming up. It's Tuesday the 13th. It'll be over in the clubhouse. We are going to serve promptly at 5 o'clock. So get there earlier. Get there before 5, okay? You're not going to have buffet style. You're just going to sit there and we're going to serve you. You help me serve?
I'm out of town that day.
Are you serious?
How convenient.
So I got to save you lasagna?
Yes,
All right, we'll save Tony some lasagna.
I'm off campus that whole day.
Oh, Lord. Okay. I'll have to do some recruiting. We'll find help. But just come on in. We're going to have lasagna, salad, garlic bread, and chocolate-covered strawberries. So I'll be dipping strawberries all morning. Next, we have our cybersecurity. That's going to be on February. I've got it. I just got it on the right. February 23rd. I know you all know about it. It's the students from the Clark County Career Center. I finally got that right. Clark County Career Center is going to be here. It's going to be scam awareness, teach you how to be safe on the internet. So please show up. These kids are coming all this way to show us this. Plus bring your devices, because if you have trouble, if you're having an issue with your device, or you got a question on how to operate a part of it, these kids will take care of that for you. They'll teach you how to do it. So that's all on February 23rd, and it's from 9 to noon. So please show up around 9. Okay, that's when it's going to start. Next, AARP taxes. They will be back this year. I just don't have a date. Last year we did it on President's Day because that's the only opening they had. And well, that was a big issue because a lot of people didn't have all their paperwork together yet. So it's going to be scheduled the end of March or beginning of April. When I get that date, I'll get it out there on 1851 and K4. There'll be a sign-up sheet out there for you with times for your appointment. Okay, as soon as I get that, I will get it. I'll even put a 1 call out for you. Okay. Rite Aid. We had Rite Aid here, I believe that was last week, or was it 2 weeks ago? Anyways, they gave vaccines. Some of you got the shingle shot. Well, the shingle shot is a 2-shot series. So the second shot's going to be April 2nd. It'll be at noon in the clubhouse. So for those of you who got the shingle, I will call you personally, the ones that are on the list. But they'll be here April 2nd. And also Rite Aid will be back in October for flu shots. Pet renewals. I'm still not getting my pet renewals. Please don't make me come to knock on your door to get them. So please send them in to me. Pet renewals. That's an annual thing. It's your requirement to do. What else we got? I have Super Bowl squares. We got the Super Bowl square contest here. I still have about 12 to 15 squares. If anybody's interested, it's $10 a square. Come up and see me after the meeting. It pays $200 for the first quarter, $200 for the second, $200 for the third, and then $400 for the final score. So it's kind of fun to do. Makes the Super Bowl a little bit more exciting, even though I hope both teams lose.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Just express your opinion. It'll be all right.
I also have tickets. We have our fish fry coming up. It's not till March 22nd, but we do have tickets out. I believe the flyers went out. Where's Bill? Bill, the flyers went out yesterday. So, and I've got the tickets ready. So $10 in advance, $15 at the door. So it'll be March 22nd. That is a Friday. And got a couple other things to talk about. I don't know.
I was going to cover the September one.
Okay, you're going to cover the eclipse? You want that one too? We don't have a lot of details.
I wasn't at the meeting, so you can cover it.
Okay. Well, you've all probably heard about, it's in the news, the solar eclipse that's coming up on April 8th. We are going to have an event here on campus. It's in the early stages of planning. We will have the glasses for everybody, because you don't want to burn your retinas or anything, so I guess it will do damage. It's not till 3 o'clock. I saw them on your table, so I'm surprised they were still sitting there.
Well, I got some more. I can get more if you need them.
Okay, I think our campus, they were getting like 2,000,
Tracy was
so
gonna-
5
yeah,
through
she
the
wanted
3.
them. Yeah.
We'll probably have enough, but that'll be good to have in our back pocket if we need them. But this is going to be open to all staff and their family and residents, and their family as well. So our events committee probably don't know this yet, but you guys are going to help me prepare hamburgers and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll talk about that at the next meeting.
You can't ask for a grill and then not
Yeah,
use it.
we've got to use it. So So other than that, I think that's all I got, Tony.
All right. We do have well, we didn't even actually name it. If you remember correct, last year we moved the 4th of July due to the Canadian wildfires and all their pollution they were spewing over here, and we added in September. So actually September 1st. So we are planning that event this year. We met with the council and we decided to still have it in September. So the 4th of July weekend is it's busy for everybody. A lot of people do traveling, a lot of families come in town and so on and so forth. And it's hot. And it don't get dark till like 9:45. But when we had it in September, it was really nice because it gets darker 8:30-ish and it's nowhere near as hot. So we picked the date of September the 7th. Unfortunately, that date we need to change it because September the 7th, there is a foundation event that day that a bunch of us have to attend. So would it be okay to move it to September 14th? We don't want to go backwards because that's Labor Day weekend, and we think it's kind of the same thing as 4th of July weekend. It's that last holiday. People are traveling other places and that. So is everyone okay if we move it to September the 14th? It'll probably at that point get dark about that 8:20, 8:30. The weather is still good in September. I mean, we had 90-degree weather last September. So is everyone okay with September 14th?
Is that a Saturday?
It is a Saturday. So we changed it a little bit, moving it to a Saturday. A couple of reasons. A lot easier for family members to come in on a Saturday if they're still working. And B, way back when we used to do home day, the Masonic districts would come and serve food, and that they were the ones who would sell the food and kind of have the event. We invited them to do it for the 4th of July celebrations, but most of them still work, so they weren't going to take off work to come set up for it. So if we move it to a Saturday, then we feel that we'll get more support from the lodges and from them to come out and provide those services, because they won't have to take off work to come out and do it. So kind of twofold, kind of a little easier for families, and also it's potentially going to allow us to get the fraternity more involved doing it on a Saturday. So yes, it is on a Saturday. I think it'll help with turnout as well. So we're all good then, September 14th?
Yes.
All right. Foundation will be very, very happy.
We'll be the only ones in the state doing fireworks.
We will be the only ones in the state. Here's the good news. I don't have to worry that the fireworks guy's busy. That was the easiest part to plan, because when we were like, well, in September, he's like, just pick a day. He's pretty well open at that point. So September 14th, I will let everybody know, and I really appreciate that. So the gates have already come up. I'm adding a new addition to the gates.
Already?
Yes, so I ordered these little stop signs that weigh next to nothing that we're going to screw right to the gates, and then I had some special ones made. There's one that says stop. It's like, so picture a stop sign, it says stop at the top, and then at the bottom it says access pass lane. And then another one that says visitors and guests use call box. And we're going to mount them, hopefully to the right gates, but we're going to put them on there to just help people see. Because right now we still get people who see an employee or a resident go in, and then they pull up to the right, and then they wonder what's going on, and then they have to back up. And backing up at an entrance is never a good idea. We still have people who hit them, so maybe having the stop signs on them will help. I will give some leeway that when it was snowy, they were difficult to see. Even when I was pulling in, like, I knew they were there, but I was looking and I'm like, boy, it really does, with the snow behind it and the fact that once someone broke it, we lost the tape on it, and we couldn't get the tape to stick in the winter. So it made it difficult. So these, we're going to screw them right to them. I even bought extras, because even the best laid plans, there's still humans driving those cars, so I got some extras. I got enough to break them 3 times.
To get a big sign that says no piggybacking, because I still see multiple people dash.
Yeah, they are still piggybacking, and only the exit gate and the easy pass gate that can happen on, but it's still a big problem. They still piggyback on them. On the visitor one, That one's set up differently because of the remote call box. If you try to go through, it's just going to hit you. You know, we had talked about putting spikes on the bottom for people.
Yeah. Take a vote.
Yeah, we're not liable if you want to go ahead and try to beat that thing, because it's not going to work. So hopefully that helps. You know, because the most recent time we had someone come in and they just pulled in, they wiped out that easy pass lane, they didn't even stop, and then just did a U-turn and went right back out. And almost hit the exit gate, because we all know that one's not as fast. So they barely even stopped, and they turned and went out, and they didn't even come onto campus. So, and it's amazing how many people we get that still pull up there and hit the call box. Like, this is an actual call. So Scotty sits outside my office, and I was walking out, and someone buzzed the gate, and he's like, you know, welcome to Springfield Masonic, how can I help you? And they said, yeah, we just want to park our car here because we're going to walk down the street.
Oh my.
I was like, A, where are you walking down the street over here? That's pretty dangerous. And B, no. So,
I'm not calling back.
but it was kind of interesting. Like you get all kinds of strange requests at that gate.
Can I ask about the exit? If I come up and, let's say, one of the delivery guys goes through, so it's up, and I'm coming and I stop, do I have enough time to clear that, or should I just sit there and wait for it to come down?
So her question was, when she goes to the exit gate and there's like a delivery guy leaving, does she have enough time to clear it? The exit gate is set to piggyback because we're not restricting people leaving. So you can piggyback. And I actually recommend it because that thing is slow. Like that one is much slower than the entrance. But it's also set up differently. So if you have the time to look down at the pavement, you'll see like a line coming out and then a big rectangle. That's the loop that triggers it. And on the exit gate, it's much further back. So it's actually set to tailgate because we don't want to restrict people leaving. Because if there's like an emergency or something, people have to leave. Once that gate's up, if there's a line of cars, let them go. Or if there's an event that that's let out and everyone's leaving, we just want them to go. So on the exit gate, piggybacking is totally acceptable. It's actually designed to do it that way. Hey, I saw you had your hand up.
That stop sign, as you come from the dining room, past the castle, going to the north right, that stop sign.
Out front there?
Yeah. And there's people that's not even stopping for that.
Yeah, people don't stop for the stop signs going out either.
That's the one.
Yep.
The white line is painted on there, I think.
It's gone.
White, yeah, it was covered blacktop.
I know, yeah, when they blacktopped it, it got covered. I know this year we're gonna, for the grounds department, we're putting an emphasis on some of that outdoor painting, like the sidewalks, the curbs and that yellow paint, we need to redo that. And then some of those white lines, we need to get redone this year as well.
Parking.
And yeah, for the parking and that.
What set off the alarm at the Scottish Rite the other day?
What time?
Yeah, which
It
one?
only went off once.
10 o'clock or 9 o'clock at
9
night.
o'clock.
Yes.
I didn't hear about it.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Cooking. Cooking.
Okay.
I got 2 words, home chef.
Yeah.
Home
It was.
chef.
Yes.
Well, it certainly wasn't a fryer because it's usually broke.
Yes. Now, all right. So that was one of the things I was going to talk about. So here's the deal with the fryer. So the fryer is fixed. Okay. It actually wasn't the fryer. Now, how dumb does this sound? The gas pressure was higher than the fryer was rated for, and we couldn't keep the pilot light on because it was just blowing it out. So they had to put a regulator on it. That's why the fryer works. The problem we have is that was actually known like 2 months ago, but they didn't tell us, and they didn't fix it. So I sent a nice email to the people we bought it from, and I said, hey, how long's the warranty for me to get a full replacement, because this thing's a piece of crap. And that day, they sent a guy out, and he looked from a different company, and he looked at the service log and said, well, the other guy knew about it because he marked it. But he didn't tell us, and he didn't fix it. So they put a regulator on it, and the fryer works. Now the steamer went down because while he was here, he said, hey, your steamer actually isn't rated for this much pressure either, so he locked it out. Now we've been using that steamer for, I can't even tell you how long, because that thing was purchased before I started, and it's been running this whole time, never had a problem with it, but it's a different mechanism. And so he locked it out, we weren't allowed to use it, and then we got it back up and running. A couple days later, we had to get another one. But this whole time, we've been throwing a fit about the fryer, and it actually wasn't the fryer. It was because it was getting too much gas, and it was literally just blowing the pilot light out. Because that was the reason we couldn't use it, because we couldn't keep the pilot light lit. And turns out, it was actually something they knew about and failed to address when they came out the first time we called them out about the fryer. So the fryer's up and running, Rodney.
Okay.
That is something that's hard, because like we do orientation for new employees, and we order from the menu, and when the fryer went out, we realized 80% of that menu comes from the fryer. So we had salads. Makes it difficult.
Good impression.
Or you could get a hamburger and no French fries, which is un-American. So
Yeah.
we had to fix that too.
Like fries with that.
What else did I have for today? I didn't have a whole lot for today because I have a lot of things on the horizons, but it's too early for me to say. But we do have a lot of projects that we are looking at and working on. One that I can definitely say is that we are engaging vendors for the demolition of Iredell. So that is absolutely in full swing right now. For people who live in Cunningham, just so you know, when that happens, we will lose access to the dining room for a period of time because the dining room is not connected to Cunningham. The dining room is actually connected to Iredell, and you have to go through the corner of Iredell to get to the dining room. So we're going to demo around it. Our goal and hope, if you live in Cunningham or know someone who lives in Cunningham, the biggest complaint is how far they are from a bathroom when they're in the dining room. So the original plan was to walk out, and right on the corner, there's actually bathrooms built there. But we're not allowed to use that part of the building because of the issues we had. So the goal, hopefully, is that when we demo Iredell and we have to rebuild that part of the connector, is to try to incorporate those bathrooms and keep them. So that's the goal. I'm not 100% sure it's positive, right? You know, if you don't know, I'm an engineer by education, but that doesn't mean that I know how everything runs underneath there. In my mind, I know where everything leaves the building, and it leaves the building on the right side of the building. I feel we can keep them, but I haven't seen the drawings to know 100% sure, but that's our goal. Our goal is to try to maintain those bathrooms so that when you come down, there'll be bathrooms there right by the dining room. Because I completely understand it's a long hike to get back to your apartment because we don't have any public bathrooms. They're over by the tunnel. So it takes a long time to get over there. So, but I do know that for sure that Iredell is going to be coming down. We're also going to be, as part of that, taking down the transportation garage. I know it's really pretty and it looks real nice back there, but our goal is to build a pole barn over in the fenced-in area by the powerhouse to get all of our back of the house stuff stored in the back of the house, and then create a little nicer area around here. So those are the two that I can definitely share, is that we are engaging somebody to take Iredell down, maintain the dining room, rebuild that connector, hope to keep the bathrooms, and then the transportation garage is going to come down as well, and we will move transportation and grounds out to the fenced-in area over by the powerhouse. Honestly, that is about all I had right now.
Let's turn the heat on in the community
Look,
center.
it's warm in here now, Rodney.
You're warm, we're not.
So I have heard about, oh, that's actually another one. I'm glad we talked about that. Tables and chairs in the community center. We are getting new tables and chairs in the community center. So we're nailing down color palettes and whatnot. I'd asked some people to go check. Did you guys check those chairs out? What'd you think of those?
I think they're fine. I think they're lighter weight, but I also felt that it wasn't quite as stable lifting up and getting up and down as the current design.
Because it's lighter?
Yeah, and these feel shorter. The arms felt shorter.
They probably are shorter,
That you
yeah.
sent when you told us to go look. Yeah, I felt they were shorter. Don't know if that's a good or bad. Don't know how many would
I asked Dave to go bring one of those chairs in. So, you know, we stole some chairs from Western Reserve, and there's a certain style that I was hoping we could look at and see if they will work, but they're the aluminum chairs. So although it looks like wood, they're actually made out of aluminum, so they're far more durable than the wood chairs we have now. So when you look at the wood chairs, they get beat up all around here from just being moved around and whatnot, and they're very hard to keep looking nice. The other part about the wood chairs is as we clean them and use them, the varnish wears off, and then they start to get sticky and they look bad. So this chair is actually aluminum framed with the cushions. So I had asked, you know, to kind of take a look, and would these be suitable as chairs in the community center? So I'm going to keep the bases of the tables. So the metal looking base at the bottom, we're going to keep. Those are about $500, $600 a piece. The ones we have are nice and they're stable, they're fine. I think we can get away with leaving those. We'll just make sure we clean them, and then we're going to buy new tops. The color that I'm trying to acquire will match the salad bar. So they're darker, but they won't have a lip on them. They're super easy to clean, and they won't be made out of wood. They will be a laminate, so they're easy to clean, and they'll hold up a lot longer. We actually have identified a really good top. It's just I'm trying to get one that comes in all the sizes. So we want to make sure we keep that 8-foot or 6 foot round table in the back corner. And then we've also discussed the potential of maybe a couple of farmhouse tables. So a farmhouse table is kind of like what you would have at home, like a 4-poster kind of long table. Because we have tables that we set up. You know, we push tables together right now for people who want to sit in larger groups. We've talked about trying to find a farmhouse table. That's actually proving to be much harder than I had anticipated. I really thought it was going to be easy. It's not. So I'm still trying to source a farmhouse table. Not that I can't buy a farmhouse table, but A, they're really expensive, and B, they're all just regular wood. There's nothing special about them, makes them extra durable. There's nothing that really makes them commercial. So we had talked about, I don't know if it's an epoxy or what, but like if you ever gone to a bar and you go up to like the bar tables and that, where it has like that thick layer of that clear epoxy, we talked about maybe trying to find farmhouse tables and finding somebody who can do that to the top of them. So that is something we've already started that process. We've identified the tops, and some people in here may find this a lot more beneficial. I'm also buying bigger tops. So when right now all of our tables are 36 by 36. Minimum I'm going to go is 42 by 42. I'm really hoping to go 48 by 48. The only thing stopping me from going 48 by 48 is the internal distance between the tables with chairs, making sure we can get around them. But to me, the bigger the table, the better. If you're in a scooter or in a wheelchair and you pull up to the table, the table's bigger, it brings it a lot closer to you. So at minimum, we're looking at 42. My goal is really to try to pull off 48 by 48 to make the table spaces a lot bigger. But we are working on that currently. The chair design and the chair makeup is something that we're really trying to focus on. My other thought about these chairs is, you know, they are lighter, so you don't need the wheels on them because they're a lot easier to move around. But I understand they are also lighter, so they may not feel as sturdy. So we'll kind of see. I can't buy this exact chair anyways. My thought was if we could just, you know, kind of see how these work and if people liked them. The arms maybe aren't quite as high, and the seat looks narrower, but that's because it's kind of tapered back.
Can you put some of those in the dining room and let people use them for a while?
Yeah, I think we got like 11 of these, or 8 or 9 of these, so we can swap some out and put them out there for people to try.
Just to see what people's thoughts are.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the last thing I want to do is, you know, I've been trying to get new tables and chairs for a while, and have been told no for a long time because it's very hard to come up with the amount of money. Because each one of these chairs is like $300. Like there ain't nothing cheap about tables and chairs. So the last thing I want to do is spend all this money and get tables and chairs that everyone's going to complain about, and they're not going to work out because you're going to be stuck with them for a while.
The new game room we have was really nice. We'd like to have, if possible, a third large round table.
I don't.
I don't know
a
about
third large round table. I don't know if I get that in there safely.
You gotta have room to get out, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know if you'd have room for it all, because that room's pretty
Tight now.
pretty tight now, but there's enough room to get around. I don't know if a third round would fit safely.
Maybe one a little bit smaller, but not too big.
He
I mean,
got those from
we
Western
could take a
Reserve.
look. Yeah, we still, I mean, I do have another round in another spot. I just don't know if it would fit over there.
Because a Thursday night, we fill the two, fill, and if we get more people, we need another table.
Gotcha.
Sounds like the billiard room.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay, please, yep.
Susan.
I would just like to suggest instead of fabric, you have covered kit.
Well, she said instead of fabric, see, those of you who didn't hear that, Paige has her number. She said instead of fabric, have them coated with vinyl. So these chairs have a vinyl base, and then this fabric up here is called Krypton. Not only does it repel Superman, but it repels stains and odors. But the Krypton fabric is waterproof and supposedly stain proof. They sell this a lot on the commercial end for our industry and restaurant industry. But it feels like fabric, but it's actually a synthetically made fabric that comes in just millions of patterns, but you can wipe this pretty clean. And then, like I said, I agree with you, the base of this chair is vinyl, which makes it a lot easier to clean as well. I think it's a lot more durable. So, more to come, but if you guys are okay with that, I think Dave and I can pull some of these chairs up here when we get done, and you guys can use them. Yeah, oh.
I have a question on another topic, if you're ready.
Sure.
Okay, I'm Mary Sims, and my question is about the privacy of mail names and addresses, because I have not officially changed my mailing address. I still have it at my old house, and yet here I'm getting things like from ARP, and there have been a few other things. They had my name and this address, and were coming here, and I never gave them that name and address. So what do you guys do? How did my name and address get out there?
Google. So that's a good question, because we don't share anything. We obviously being a healthcare based facility, HIPAA is something that's very, very strong. We don't sell mailing lists. We don't promote anything. The only thing that we do partake in is census. When the census guy comes around. Outside of that, we don't provide anything. We don't sell our residents off as mailing lists. I mean, I don't know, and I'm pretty sure, where's Joanne? USS wouldn't do anything either, right? Like, I don't think you guys provide your stuff. So honestly, I don't know. I know when I first moved into my last house, I hadn't changed my address yet either, and things were showing up at my house because it triggered in the auditor, but you don't purchase anything here. But utilities, I bet you maybe when you sign up for utilities and that, they may get that change.
Yes, electric and gas.
Yeah, because it's I'm just trying to think of where these would come, because I can tell you from our end, our information's all locked down. We don't share it with anything.
Cyberspace gremlin.
Why, when we get the one calls, does it say spam risk on it?
Okay, why does it say spam risk?
Yeah.
So, I don't 100% know. Our number, when for some reason, like when I get a phone call, even from somebody on campus, it comes up Springfield Masonic Community. I have that number saved in my phone, and about 2 out of every 20 calls, it'll come up and say potential spam. And I'm like, it's work. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what that means or how or who even makes that determination. So I don't know how to answer it. The only thing I can think of is when we use the one call, it's from what they call an auto dialer system, and that auto dialer system is what the whole do not call list is based off of because of the robo dialers. So I don't know if it's coming from an entity like that, it's automatically marked spam or potential spam. But I've noticed that too, because when I've sent out one calls and I get them myself, they come like that. Like I said, I even get some of our own phone calls from campus that come up that way. But the only thing I can think of is that coming from Dial My Calls, which is the program we use, it's probably marked as being like an auto dialer kind of
I
system.
know the phone number, so I answer, but if I didn't, I would never answer.
Yeah, I can't explain it.
And it just started with the last couple weeks on mine.
Because it's nothing that we do, it's something to do with the phone carrier.
Well, case in point, I called Angela DePriest for a blood draw, and the call that came back to me to make the appointment was spam.
And was it from here, or was it from her?
Probably from them, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
And you know, it came through as spam, and I almost didn't answer it because it didn't recognize the number, but I did.
Yeah, it's strange how all the, like, I don't know, I probably get 6 spam phone calls a day anymore, but they're actual business calls or actual personal calls that come through. Like, my own bank came up spam. You know, they were calling, you know, like, for suspicious activity. It was just my kids shopping, but it came up suspicious activity, and they called because she was in Columbus, and when it came through as spam. And I listened to the voicemail, I'm like, well, that was my bank. Well, that's weird. But I can't explain how that all works.
How would you trust that, though? If it came up as spam and it says it's your bank, how?
I don't know, so I'll tell you another story. This is actually real life. So my wife went and bought a new car last week, right? And we take out a loan to get a new car. So now when you buy a car and you take out a loan, they call you to verify it's you, and I wouldn't give them any information because I thought it was a scam. So the dealership called me yesterday, and they're like, if you don't call Capital One, I gotta get this car. And I'm like, what? Ah, crap. So I had to call them, but that's part of it because I didn't believe it. A, she didn't speak great English, which kind of, you know, didn't make the communication barrier a lot easier. But also, I was like, I signed everything, and I walked out of there, and she drove the car. Why are you calling to shouldn't you have verified it before I left the dealership? Like, didn't make no sense. But yeah, and it's very strange.
I will tell you, and I don't know how they have it, but a friend of mine, when I call to check on her every so often, and she lives outside New Carlisle, when I dial her number, it will come up so that a robocall cannot get to them, and it will say, you have to push, and it's always different, number 7, and then it will dial through to her number.
Yeah, so that's actually a privacy filter that some phone companies offer. She said when she calls one of her friends, like to make sure it's not a robo-dialer or anything like that, it tells you have to like press a button, and it's a different button every time. It's a privacy phone screening services, and I'm trying to think, there's one that I should know the name of. Private call or something like that. But there are services that some phone companies offer that you can enact, and it's that same thing. Every time you get a phone call, it asks for input. Kind of like when you sign up for something online, they have that CAPTCHA thing, and it's like find the motorcycle and all the pictures. It's the same thing. Yeah, so make sure you're not a robot.
Maybe cybersecurity on the 23rd can help.
Yeah, maybe. Those kids know everything. Kids know everything about technology.
People that have land phones in Scottish Rites, when they call me, it says the Springfield community.
Yeah.
So I don't know who it is.
Yeah, so when you have a multi-line campus like we have, they run what are called T1 trunk lines. So basically you have one big old pipe that connects to the campus, and everything going out comes from that one pipe. So even though when you get here, we have 1,289 extensions, every time it goes out, it all goes out from the same dialer. So all of our phone numbers from no matter where we call come up. Now, I know that's different in Scottish Rite, because on the old phone system, it would come up your number. But now we combine the phone system, so now Scottish Rite is actually dialing out as 937-525-3067.
Okay. Well, everybody sets up their contact list differently. And I set up switchboard. Every call from a resident says
Switchboard.
And I know it's not the switchboard.
Yeah, mine says Springfield Masonic every time someone calls me from here, and I gotta sort through it.
Getting back to the alarm, we got so many new people in here, and then the alarm goes off, and they're saying evacuate. And then you tell them to stay in their room, Don't you hear what they're saying? Evacuate. I said, only if they come to your door. Why don't they put that sign and explain it on everybody's inside door?
So that is actually something that has been an argument between Siemens and us. So even in like Rickley Commons, like last night we did a fire drill in Rickley Commons. So in the nursing center or in the assisted living, when a fire happens, because of how our buildings are built with smoke compartments and things like that, the rule is that we only evacuate adjacent, above, and below. So if it's room 302, I'm evacuating 402 and 202, and then 401, 404, and anyone around it, right? So we go adjacent, above, and below. That's the only people we evacuate. Because the way our buildings are built, we shelter in place and we go from there. But the alarm says evacuate. It says it everywhere. Our alarm company says that they have to have that, which doesn't make any sense because our alarm does not go along with our policy and procedure. Because we don't evacuate buildings for a fire. I mean, especially like Rickley Commons, it's 100 years old. It's built out of brick and concrete. Like, it can withstand some flames, and we can contain it pretty well. And plus, we're fully sprinklered. So if a fire happens, it's going to be contained, and the sprinklers are going to kick in and take care of it. But the sprinkler company tells us that that's their regulation, but it's completely against like what we had here. Because our regs are plain language, so it's supposed to just be plain language. Fire, not Mr. Red, they're supposed to say fire and then tell you where it's at, and then, but yeah, not evacuation. But that's something that we've been going round and round about with them, and obviously have not won as of yet.
In Cunningham, the last two drills, we were told the last time you guys discussed this, if there would be an announcement after the alarm was cut off telling you what it was.
That should happen.
It didn't. 2 times, the last 2 times.
Okay, well, 2 things. A, it may not have been a drill, because they do have ovens and stoves in Cunningham, so sometimes we get people making bacon and things that cause issues. But we will address it, because even, like, I know last night, like I said, we had one in Rickley, and when the drill's over, they come through and say it's a drill and all clear, and they give the all clear signal. So that is supposed to happen. Brian's back there. I know he'll make sure that we follow through with that, but that is supposed to happen. At the end of a drill or whatnot, they pick up the annunciator and tell everybody because they should give you an all clear, hey.
They don't.
And they should also tell you, that it's a drill, but we can address that.
When we had the one at 9 o'clock at night, it is buzz and buzz and buzz, and you come out out the door. It says there is an emergency in the Scottish Rite building. Please be blah blah blah. But when it cut up, there was nothing else. It was just cut off, and that's it.
Yeah, that's part of the follow through. They just need to get on there and make the announcement, because we have 5 places on the campus that we're able to pick up the little microphone and make the announcements from.
Back to the phone numbers. Could we maybe have an updated phone list for especially the villas? This calling 102 is not working well.
I'll get it there. Say that again, Faye. I'm sorry. We had 2 people talking.
I said it should maybe be on the note, even though it says to evacuate. That the only time you evacuate is if someone comes and gets you. Stay in your room.
Yeah, I'll have to look at the handbook and see what it says, because I think in the handbook it has it in there.
What?
In the handbook, the resident handbook. I believe in the handbook it has the policy in there. But I agree, it's not very clear when they're screaming it down the halls.
In the Scottish Rite, as an ambassador, when the new people come in, that's one thing that I tell them, that if you hear a fire alarm, it says evacuate, don't stay in your apartment. And we, as ambassadors, put that information out to the new people.
Good. I don't know, did you hear that, Faye? Okay. All right, and then you asked about phone list.
Updated campus phone list, because this 102 thing for the villas is problematic. And
there is no 102s.
Oh yeah, the paper says dial 102, blah blah blah. Oh, I don't have it. The paper that we have says that on it.
Is this the paper you guys put out?
No, I don't know. It's just a
so her question's about updated phone list, because she said in the villa dialing the extension, so that will not work.
Yeah, right, it doesn't.
So we got you. The extensions, like my extension 102-3015 only works if you're calling from our phone system. The
Right.
villas are an independent phone system, just like you're living at home, because you call and you set that up. So they're not part of our Avaya system where you can dial the extensions. So your phone list, if you need to call an extension, is just to call the operator and have them put you through.
That's what happened.
Because not all of us have what are called direct dial
Right.
numbers, we just have
Yeah.
extensions or
That's
cell
what we've had to
phones.
do, but
So,
that takes a while if it happens to be emergency.
yeah, just call them and go from there.
PBX is what we, yeah, if
Yep.
you get food and hair and, okay.
Now, the community center has a direct number,
Yeah.
because they put it on the menu. If you look,
Yeah,
there's a
that's where I had to
937,
look.
I think it's like 5818 or
Yeah,
something
right.
like that.
Yeah.
What is it, 5828?
Yes.
Yep,
Yep.
okay,
Yep,
5828. See, that's
yep.
close. See, Dave, Prevagen's starting to work.
Oh, my goodness.
6 weeks in, I'll let you guys know in 6 more weeks. All right. Go ahead.
I have, this is going way back because I didn't get in time. When we leave here, I don't know if this is what triggers that light.
The front door.
Cars going by. When it seems like anytime my daughter comes and gets me to take me somewhere, we always have to stop at the light. Well, the other day we stopped.
Are you talking about the traffic light?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
So I don't know that that's your problem. It's probably.
No, that's the Ohio Department of Transportation.
Neither is that big pothole.
Yeah, the other day, and the cars were going by. So we waited, but then the traffic stopped. They went on, we weren't able to go. 3 times we sat there while traffic went, and we finally turned right.
But that's not Tony.
So she talked about the traffic light. What I will tell you is there is a sweet spot for hitting the trigger for that light. So if you're there and you're sitting through the light more than once, you will always be able to turn left after the one across from you turns right, right? Because that's the pattern. They always let the traffic coming this way from, is that 4? Yeah. 4? Or Upper Valley, whatever. They always let them go first, and then they'll let you turn left. But if you're too far forward, just back up some and it'll trigger. The other word of caution I want to give about that intersection is if I'm at the light waiting to go, and that light turns red and there's not 2 cars stopped, I wait until the next car stops before I pull out. Because we see a considerable amount of people who run that red light because they're doing 55 miles an hour and they run it. So if there's not a